Thank you very much, and it's a great pleasure and honor that I've been invited here tonight. There is a famous Yiddish saying that words should be weighed, not counted. There are no speeches that we can give, no words of comfort or solace we can offer that can ever take away the pain of what happened in Halle on Yom Kippur. Today we honor those young victims who got killed while simply living their lives in front of the local synagogue. We stand together with their families and their loved ones as they go through trauma which no one should ever have to. We thank the heroes who protected others, who showed us that faced with evil, humanity is capable of good. But today, we cannot help thinking of the fear of all the victims and witnesses like you, Anastasia. The fear of the Jewish congregation inside the synagogue. And we think of the fear that every Jewish person in Europe felt in that moment. That heart-sinking fear that Europe's Jewish community knows all too well. That fear which comes back stronger after every anti-Semitic attack that is reported on the news. From the Brussels Jewish Museum we just saw in the film, to the kosher supermarket in Paris, from the Jewish school in Toulouse to the synagogue in Halle. And in the last days alone, we have seen a rabbi beaten up on the streets of London and the Jewish cemeteries vandalized in Wertheim. For every one of those incidents we see in the news, there are many more which happen every single day across our union. They may be smaller and less violent in nature, but they are real. And they are on the rise. And they create an atmosphere in which Jews no longer feel safe and start doubting their future in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, these attacks, big or small, are attacks on the Jewish community, but their consequences and their repercussions are attacks on all of us, on our way of life, our values, our tolerance, our unity in diversity. Anti-Semitism is a poison for our community, and it is up to all to fight it, to prevent it, and to eradicate it. The fight against anti-Semitism is as much for every other part of our community as it is for Jewish people. And it is one which must be led at local, regional, national, and European level. We must all do our part. The Jewish community is not alone. This is the message I will take with me to Yad Vashem in Jerusalem in January. We will lead this fight together. We will build on the work done in the last years in the Commission, in the Parliament, and in the Member States. But as rising challenge needs a stronger response from outside, indeed, as you mentioned, I've entrusted my Vice President Margaritis Kinas to lead the fight against anti-Semitism. And today I can announce that he will be supported by a new dedicated team with very experienced people who will work with our coordinator for combating anti-Semitism and for fostering Jewish life. And fostering Jewish life is something which I've always taken very seriously. As Minister of Defense, I decided to reintroduce, after 100 years, rabbis as chaplains in the Bundeswehr, the armed forces, together with Christian priests. This is as important for Jewish soldiers as it is for the rest of the armed forces. It is a way to learn about the different cultures that together build a common European culture. And it is a way to understand one another. To understand that in our diversity of backgrounds, we are all part of the same community. There would be no European culture without Jewish culture. And there would be no Europe without Jewish people. We will remain vigilant. And more, we will act at all levels, through security means, of course, but also in our education system and in the public debate. There is one fundamental freedom that we Europeans must reclaim, and that is the freedom from fear, whatever they believe in. Thank you so much.